Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Wasteland 3, where today I expect us to have a pretty rough go of it here in the Republic of Ronald Reagan's Ghost. Isn't Denver where all of the oil comes from? Isn't that the deal with the Gippers, that they're like shipping the oil to Colorado Springs and that's the only way Colorado Springs has power? Seems like a really bad group of people to be in charge of something like that. We may have to take over or something here. Okay, so here's Mecha Reagan. If you are not from America, and your knowledge of American historical presidents is such that you don't really know who Ronald Reagan is, it's bad. It's bad news. Ronald Reagan is not a great person. We have certainly had more evil presidents, Andrew Jackson, but not like a huge number of more evil presidents, so I don't exactly know, like, how are we even gonna... Oh, they've got him sort of max headroomed on all these monitors. I don't know how we're gonna solve this problem. Boy, like, I guess, in a long-term sense, the idea is it would be best for us to have Colorado Springs take this place over, and then we just, remove the current leadership of Colorado Springs later, and that sort of, like, constructs a functional power structure, sort of. I don't know, this seems like a real big problem.
Of course not.
Neither.
Praise the Gipper!
Judgment Day is nigh.
It is often the case that those whose faith is shakiest are the ones who are the loudest about it.
You'll find the God President in the back, Rangers. Big door. Can't miss it.
Real nervous about that. I don't want there to be a whole bunch of laser shooting Reagan statues. That seems real bad. Is this this bit of wall looks like it could move to me. I guess also we can just walk around.
Don't keep the God President waiting, Rangers.
So is that's a full on
In the sanctuary of the Holy Server.
that's a full on like David style Reagan there. Reagan saved the world from the red menace of communism, but he was betrayed by the perfidious Hinckley, who shot him with a poison bullet that gave him old-timer's disease. Okay, that's a pretty funny, mangled version, I suppose, of the history. I did when I was younger. I legitimately thought it was called old-timer's disease. It makes a lot of sense, right?
Howdy.
Oh yeah, hey. What's new?
Just watching this terminal for the Nancys. Keep it under your hat, but I'm told it's mighty important. Partner?
What is it connected to exactly? It is connected to God only knows what. I mean, it might be secret wall stuff, or it might be running to something in the basement. Alright, I'm curious. You've piqued my interest successfully. Are you going to be mad if I play with your toaster?
That toaster's been broken for ages. If you can fix it, it's yours.
Okay, well. Free toast. Plus 1 AP for 90 turns. Yeah, toast is good. Toast is good food. Also, these seem alright, and who would turn up their nose at $46, I ask you? What kind of person has so many dollars that they don't need 46 more? A squat bulldog of a woman wipes her hands with an oil-stained cloth. Her work belt is overloaded with tools and guns.
Hey there, friends. Sister Nancy Forge, Ronnie's fourth wife, and his armorer. Made all our guns, armor, explosives, and that commie-killing Ronnie statue out on our front porch.
Wow, in terms of technical skill, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, that statue's amazing. How'd you make the weapon so powerful?
Trade secret, meaning I won't sell it, and you couldn't afford it if I did. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate the compliment, though. Thank you.
Ah, well, it did level Skelly up,
Anyway,
so...
I'm the trader here on top of everything else. You need something? I might have it. And if I don't, you probably don't need it.
Okay, well, in that case, let's see what you got for sale.
Sure, have a look.
We'll talk to her more after this. I'm pretty sure that we are really low on power cells again, because we go through our power cells very quickly. So, you have weapons that require 5 skill... We just need, like, a better class of stuff. We're still kind of in the early game, I think, so... We should probably just blaze through this as quickly as we can, get on the other side of it, and then figure things out from there. A Chemtech chest. Interesting. 16 armor, big healing bonus, resistance to poison. We actually have 6 weird science on Skelly now, don't we? This would be a cool thing to have. It's a shame that it's very, very expensive. How much junk do I have on me? Okay, a little bit. I kind of think we just got to buy power cells. Right, where are we at on power cells? Oh no, we're 160. We're not as bad as I was thinking. Okay, never mind. In that case, we just save. We bought a whole bunch of power cells before we left the base. That's right. How are we doing on everybody's ammo? Just kind of in general. You got lots. You got lots. Everybody's looking okay. Ooh, bolts. We're a little low on bolts. Okay. Yeah, we're mostly fine. All right. Crossbow bolts then.
Welcome back, Rangers. What do you need?
I need crossbow bolts, and not even a huge number of them. You don't sell them. Maybe they're just like a pretty rare ammo type. Okay, well, Quan might have to lay off on the crossbow bolts for a while. The crossbowing. We could pick up some mods and stuff, but I think we'll save for right now. Yeah, alright, let's see what else she has to say.
Welcome back, Rangers. What do you need?
What made you choose this trade?
Ronnie called me to it during one of his spells, way back when I was a girl. She has hands of iron for forging steel, he said. When a god tells you your trade, you'd best listen.
So they've been at this for a while, although it's hard for us to guess exactly how old she is from the back of her head and above. How did you build that statue, anyway?
Blood, sweat, and tears, friend. Blood, sweat, and tears. Scavenged and smelted the plating myself, hand ground the laser lenses, and spent a year wrapping the wiring. Also hunted and killed 30 or so scar collectors because I had some parts I needed. Steel, servos, and such.
She winks. I mean, it would be hard for me to judge her for that. We have done that same thing.
More than a few of the statue's bits and bobs have blood on them. A fitting tribute to America's fighting president, right?
I guess this is funny, but I'm not going to say it. Yeah, it's really impressive.
Of course it is. I made it. And it's imbued with Ronnie's spirit.
It is super easy to get small amounts of reputation with these people.
It's an all-American ass-kicking war machine. Yeehaw!
I'm going to compliment her again because it seems like a really easy way to get rep.
Well now, kinda you to say so. What did you like best about it?
Oh yes. So the AI inside remote controls the statue outside, and it's a defense system. It's impressive.
Wasn't easy. Months of coding the connection to Ronnie. About 100 miles of cable. And the testing was a nightmare. Worth it in the end, though, if I do say so myself.
Okay, so what I'm gathering from the conversation that we've had here is that there's not going to be another giant murder statue. It's just we're going to be introduced to the AI that's sitting in a server bank somewhere in the back that is connected to the one statue they have outside. That's good news for us in terms of, eventually taking the place over and de-Reaganizing it.
That reminds me. I got some leftovers from that job taking up valuable space. It's yours if you want it.
I do love to project neutrons.
Make sure you put that to good use, Rangers.
Oh, we will. Don't worry about it.
Hey, before you head out, I think you might be able to lend the Gipper armory a hand. Those commies at the airport have some cute tricks when it comes to repairing both machines and people. Doesn't matter how hard we blast them bots, they always come back in perfect shape. And it's the same with whoever they heal, even Godfishers. If you can find out how the bots repair themselves and humans, it would help me a lot. Then I can design weapons to make those repairs impossible. Come through, and I'll give you a discount on my stock and a few supplies to boot.
Okay, bunch of free grenades, sure.
Thank the Gipper. You're doing me a great service. And if you talk to the Wyman, don't tell her a damn thing about this. That woman is a taint on the Gippers, and I refuse to share resources with her. Find that data.
The Wyman. Alright, where is this gun you handed me? I really wish... It only sorts some of the new stuff to the top in the new stuff area, which is... I don't know why it works like that. Neutron... It was like sort of a long, narrow gun. Boy. Shock mace would be cool if we had somebody who was into melee weapons and not brawling. Here we go. It's a high-tier sniper rifle. You know, we could go back to base and quote-unquote recruit a sniper. I'm not sure how exactly that system works, if we can recruit somebody if they come in like at the average level of our party, or if they would always be low level. It's a thing we might look into next time we're back home, because it might be a good idea to have a sniper person. Also, Skelly got her a level up. Let's level her up. So, I mean, we're going to take this. You know how Skelly loves to do a fire. I am unclear on whether this kind of bonus applies to the damage from the burning status or merely to the initial damage from fire attacks. I'm hopeful, given that these are in the same line, I am hopeful that burning gets the bonus from this, but who knows. And I sort of want to just keep pushing weird science. I want Skelly to be a super weird scientist. I know that it's not maybe mechanically the most effective thing we could do, but we're doing just fine so far, numerically speaking. Alright, and then do we want to give her more strength? Or more coordination? It does seem like some of the bigger weapons require a little bit more strength to use, but she's at 4 now. Like, in terms of... Let me go look at our inventory. In terms of equipment, we've seen a lot of equipment that requires 4. Do we have much that requires more than that? Okay, so yeah, there is heavier armor out there. I might start bumping her intelligence, actually. Critical chance, obviously, is pretty good, especially given that crits seem to be completely bananas in this game. And then on top of that, skill points, because she's kind of like... We've got her in a weird position where she kind of wants a lot of different skills. I think we're going to do it like that. Okay, so we do need to figure out what's going on with these robots that live at the airport. That is definitely a high priority, but let's finish stealing everything we can here before we do that. Am I allowed to go through this container? Yes, I am. Your daily sermon for when on the road, keep away from commies. Listen, there's only so much of this I'm going to be able to listen to, but...
My fellow Americans, well, turn with me now to the book of Bonzo, chapter 12, verse 1. Blessed are the job creators, for the tax cuts they receive will trickle down to the middle class. Well, blessed are the nukes, for they protect our freedom from the evil communist. Blessed is the oil that sustains our military-industrial complex and makes us, well, a shining city on the hill. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great on Wall Street. Success sells. Greed is good. Well, amen.
I would really like it. I think this is not specifically about this game, but in general, I think more video games should have a shut up button. Just like, whatever voice thing is happening, I get it, stop talking, press the shut up button. Because there are an awful lot of games where the writers are so proud of their writing, and the voice director is so proud of the voice acting he recorded that you are just gonna fucking listen to it for however long it takes. And a lot of the time, you get the joke about 2 seconds in. So this is something. War journalists are said to have photographed Reagan at his most iconic moments. The original images are lost to time, but history lives on through acrylics, the most precious of all paints. I feel like... So, I know a thing or two about the people who made this game, and my suspicion is they all probably feel approximately the same way about Reagan as I do. There are not a bunch of people who are secretly like, yeah, trickle-down economics was a good idea. People hiding out in exile. But, even so, I feel like this kind of thing happens a lot where like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be funny if there was like a cult that was dedicated to Richard Nixon, and they're gonna have paintings of him looking like exaggeratedly hilariously dumb but also cool around. And like, to a certain extent, this still is kind of glorifying, like, because now there's a fun picture of Ronald Reagan with an LMG on the back of a Velociraptor, and this is kind of a lazy beat that I feel like I've seen enough of, this whole idea, because this is far from the first piece of media to do this thing. Alright. Before the deluge of fire, our God President's stare cripples his foes, while Nancy's gentle smile graces the world with joy. You'll have to forgive me, I might be a little bit more sensitive to this stuff than I might have been at other times in American history, because there's some shit going on in this country right now, and... Reagan the mighty and merciful. You know, for some people. Okay, you are the medical person, so that, I don't know if it was 100% clear to everybody, this guy in the corner told us to buzz off when I tried to open the lockers while the tape was playing. A lean, weathered woman sizes you up as you approach.
If you're looking to get patched up, I'm your gal. They call me the Wyman around here, but I prefer Doc.
The Wyman?
If you're a Nancy and you do something the other Nancys don't like, they shun you and call you a Wyman. Yeah, no idea what it means. Maybe some kind of rat or insect or something.
I'll tell you, I don't get this reference. I'm sure this is a reference to a thing that people said during the Reagan era or a person's name or something, but I don't know what this is.
Anyway, you'll hear a lot of things about me in this shitty city on the hill. None of them good. But nobody can fault my doctrine, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah, no, the thing you're doing right there does not make me worried about you potentially having to perform life-saving surgery at all. If you're not happy here, why not just, move?
So where? Colorado Springs? Why would I bother trading one dictator with delusions of godhood for another?
I wonder if I'm allowed to recruit multiple doctors.
Besides, Colorado Springs has plenty of doctors, and the Patriarch would likely string me up within a week for speaking my mind.
Yeah, okay, you're probably right.
I'm a little surprised that hasn't happened to her here. So, why do they say bad things about you?
Well, I was Reagan's second wife behind Reliance, and now I'm not. We'll just leave it at that.
So you just quit being a Nancy?
Quit? Ha! I was excommunicated. Mother Reliance burned my Nancy wig and used my red suit for a toilet rag. She'd hand me over to the Godfishers if anyone else in this Girl Scout camp knew their way around a med kit. Speaking of, I could use your help to drive that point home. I might be able to waive the fees for treating your wounds, if you're interested.
The game is tight enough on resources that this actually is kind of interesting to me, and I appreciate that. Like the fact that ammunition's actually really expensive relative to the amounts of money we're making and stuff. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on in the mechanics of this game. I've expressed a lot of frustration about some of the narrative and the fact that everything is broken, but there's a lot of good design going on here. Yeah, okay, what did you want our help with?
So, like I said, Reliance would have Ronnie light me up if she didn't need me. So, I need to make sure she doesn't start looking at other medical options. Pretty sure the robots at the machine commune have some tricks for healing humans, not just machines. Every once in a while, a Gipper patrol will get lost, injured, and then a couple of days later show up bright as rain, escorted by a couple of robots. Obviously, Reliance has Ronnie blast him before any commie sleeper programming can turn on, but if you're in the commune and get some kind of data on their clinic, I'll heal you up for free from then on. And throw in a few medical supplies, too.
I am hopeful that we can get both of these rewards, that it won't be an either-or, but if we can only get one, I wonder if this might be the better one to take. We don't use that many grenades in combat. Maybe I should be using more grenades in combat, though. Yeah, we'll think about it. I see no reason to tell her what else is up here.
Fine. Think it over. Then bring it to me.
And then I'd love to see your supplies. I'm pretty sure we don't need to be patched up, right? Yeah, we're all in good shape. So she's got, a book by Ollie North. She's got some of those first aid stations, and then just a bunch of A bunch of the kind of stuff we're used to seeing. Ultramorphine. I think this is something we've not seen before. 75% con per turn for 3 turns, but suffers internal bleeding. No, you know what? I think we have seen that before. Okay, so just very basic stuff. And we're, I think, in really good shape on our amount of medical supplies at the moment. Well, she's definitely not going to let me just loot through her room. Although, oh no, okay. I thought maybe that was just going to be an examine thing. So we have here another... Oh? Oh, a hidden item, is it? Oh, can we not... Are we not allowed to open this door? Hold up. Everybody come back. We're going to try just opening the door. Why would this door even be locked? What is the purpose of this door? Sysadmin logs. Okay, that could be interesting.
Sysadmin log entry 509. Testament of Sister Nancy Justice. Another unexpected proclamation today. Mother Nancy has ordered a full audit of Reagan's neural net to try and isolate the cause. Sysadmin log entry 1821. Testament of Sister Nancy Justice. Reagan's behavior is increasingly erratic. He's having conversations with persons only he can see. I fear that I don't have the code craft to make this right. Sysadmin log entry 2403. Testament of Sister Nancy Justice. The God President demanded to speak with Nancy tonight. When we asked which Nancy, he flew into a terrible rage. Had to initiate an emergency shutdown for repairs.
Sysadmin log entry 3314. Testament of Mother Nancy Reliance. This log has reached the end of its usefulness and will be terminated. Effective immediately.
That's pretty weird. It makes a little bit more sense when it's like a computer and we know that some of the entries are corrupted and we can only see in particular ones because the data corruption hasn't gotten to those or whatever. Why would there be a cassette tape that only has intermittent entries recorded on it, right? Like, why is there such a big gap between them? Did she record 1284 and then record 1285, but then go, that one's a crummy one. I'm just going to rewind and record 1286 right over it? And it's... How did this tape come to be, is my question. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Also, I was asking why this door is locked because I thought this connected right through to the front room, but I guess this is an area you cannot actually access without the lockpicking. A small nameplate describes this clock's time zone as Freedom Standard. Okay, we get it. We get the joke. Scattered commie remnants regrouped after the Reagan fell. In their madness, they launched nuclear missiles, dooming all of humanity. I don't know. So it's entirely possible that in the fiction of the Wasteland universe, it is already known exactly what happened. Because this is my first Wasteland game, I don't know exactly what happened. I'm actually really curious who shot first.
Partner.
The young man gives you his best stoic, steely-eyed nod. Sadly, he looks like he's about to sneeze. I'm just gonna nod back respectfully for the moment. He nods again, squinting harder. I'm gonna nod back again. He nods again, sweating now. I think if we keep doing this, I wonder if his head is just gonna explode. Your head's gonna fall off if you keep doing that, kid. He turns red and stares down at his polished boots. I'd pull rank eventually.
Sorry. That's how you cowboys say hello, right?
Oh, he didn't actually have to sneeze. He was just trying to give me a cowboy look. Well, that's embarrassing for him. Now, where'd you get an idea like that?
From the others. From the stories they tell. About the rangers and marshals and cowboys. They all just nod and squint and stare right through you. You know, tough. Hard. My name's Bill. I have a stupid question. I know it's stupid, but I gotta ask. I just gotta know.
Okay, what? I have the option of just being like, nah, screw you.
Have any of you seen my ma anywhere? I told you it was a stupid question. How would you know if you saw her? I don't even have a picture of her. You forget I asked.
I feel like you could have made that a less stupid question by like giving us a description or something first. Your mom's missing? Unless he doesn't know, I guess. Maybe she disappeared when he was, like, very, very young. Your mom's missing. Since when? What happened?
It was about 6 years ago. She had a fight with Mother Nancy. Called her a bunch of things I'd never heard before. They wanted her to become one of those God President Reagan's wives. It's a big honor, but I guess she didn't want it. She said she'd leave before she married a machine. They told her, okay, go, but I couldn't go with her. She left anyway.
That is curious. Have you ever tried looking for her? This isn't a question we should ask, because we gotta know, but this is like a profoundly shitty thing to say to him.
You mean like the stories? Walking the West with a 6-shooter in my hand, saving my mom from engines and cattle barons and railroad men? You think I should do it?
Probably not. I do not think that we should just advise this kid to walk around outside. It's like very radioactive just outside of Denver too. Have you ever stepped outside Gipper territory before? Do you know what it's like out there?
Sure I do. I mean, I've never been, but I know all the history. You know, how God President Reagan conquered the West before it was God President. All that.
Alright, I guess let's dig in. Reagan conquered the West.
You don't know? Well, this was back in the bad old days, when the West was overrun by commies all trying to build iron curtains and stop freedom. The God President was still a man back then, before the ascension, but oh boy, was he tough. He had a 6-shooter that fired 7 bullets, and a horse named Ashwater that killed Reds just by looking at them. Anyway, I know the West has gotten worse again since he tamed it back then, but I reckon I can handle it.
Really? Why would you reckon? No, do not do it. You will die out there.
You think so? Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess it would have been dumb, but it felt right. Like my heart was a locked door, and your words were the key. Yeah. Sorry, Ma.
It's wild to me that we don't have the option of asking this dude for, like, a description. It's like, hey, maybe we'll keep an eye out for your mom on our travels if you could, like, tell us literally anything about her. No? Okay.
Yeah, see ya.
Peace, dude. Reborn, the Reagan shielded his chosen from nuclear fire, leading our ancestors to this place and charged us with restoring the American way of life. So I want to hear about this ascension. I think that's a part of the story that's probably pretty important. Is anybody around here? You're just watching the terminal. I kind of want to interact with this terminal. I mean, they won't just shoot us, right? They'll yell at me if I'm not allowed to. Terminal 2 of 3, temperature regulation. All systems within acceptable tolerances. My feeling is that we probably should not start sabotaging things until we know exactly in what way we need to sabotage them. A large handwritten note dominates the top of this terminal. No touching by order of the Nancys. This terminal appears to be regulating CPU temperatures for the Reagan statue, the sacred server room, and other important electronics. Upgrading this terminal will increase the Reagan statue's combat effectiveness. Sabotaging it could damage or destroy the statue. I feel like they should not just tell us that. You know, that should probably be left for the player to infer. Yeah, how could I sabotage the system? You spend a few minutes investigating the terminal. We could definitely mess some stuff up here. I feel like this is probably the discrete sabotage. The more discrete sabotage is the one I think we like. And that guy's not paying attention. I'm going to do it. The machine hums along normally for a few more seconds, then it starts to heat up. Nobody notices. I maybe should have just left that until we had a better sense of what exactly it is that we want to do around here. But let's be honest, we definitely don't want that Reagan statue functioning. There's no way that's good for us, right? A speaker next to the door crackles to life.
Welcome to the Western White House. God President Reagan is expecting you. Please come in.
Yep, I think we oughta. I wonder how many Max Headroom jokes they're gonna do. I hope it's at least one. So, light cannon turrets down here. I mean, listen, if we're gonna sabotage this, we're gonna do it probably through a method other than direct frontal assault. We got our friend Valor Buchanan over here.
What is this? Those are the Desert Rangers! They work for my father! You promised to keep me safe!
Calm down, Valor. God President Reagan has everything under control.
Well now, welcome, Patriots. Nancy and I, well, we appreciate your selfless service and want to thank you for it. You are true Americans and, well, good neighbors. Now then, help yourself to some jalebies and let's get down to business, shall we? As you know. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to...
Yeah.
If it takes a blood, let's get it over with. Well, what do you say?
Sorry, bloodbath? Can we get a little more definition on that, maybe?
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. How do you tell a communist? Well, it's someone who reads Marx and Lenin. And how do you tell an anti-communist? It's someone who understands Marx and Lenin.
I wonder if that's the thing he actually said. Sorry, what's a communist?
They're like choosy cannibals, right? They only eat the rich.
Okay. Alright, that's pretty funny.
Asking only for purposes of our education, ma'am and sir. We don't mean to upset anyone.
I'll be happy to explain, Rangers. Communism is a foul philosophy that tricks people into giving up their individuality and submitting to the will of the state, which commands them to work for free and relentlessly attack those who don't subscribe to their ideology. It is an evil beyond reckoning.
No, nobody tell her. She's this close. She'll figure it out eventually. That this is the tell her option. I think we should not do that at the moment. Let's continue to insinuate ourselves here until we have a good sense of how we want to fix this. Why, that's how anti-American. They need to be wiped from the face of the earth.
I think that most people in this country would say yes. They are better off than they were 4 years ago.
You know, he might be right about that. I don't know exactly how long... How far after the apocalypse are we? It's not very long, but it's more than a generation.
Why shouldn't we believe that? We are Americans.
That's enough, Ronnie. You did very well. But it's bedtime for Bonzo now, okay?
Okay, Mommy. Well, I'm sleepy.
I know you are, darling. Night-night.
I do not like him calling one of the Nancys mommy. That's got a gross energy.
Thank you for joining the God President and I in the sacred server room, Rangers. Before we discuss why you're here, I have a proposition for you. A favor that would make us look more favorably on your requests.
Okay. Yeah, what do you want?
My husband, the God President, wishes to transfer his consciousness to a human body. To accomplish this, we must acquire a... What was it, Valor?
A cybernetic transfer module. It's amazing. Basically, what it does is...
That's enough for now, Valor. But yes, we must acquire this transfer module from the filthy communist robots that occupy the Denver airport. Or rather, we'd like you to acquire it and bring it here, to us. Once God President Reagan has a human body, you'll be rewarded with money, a fine weapon, and we will relinquish our claim on Valor and restart the oil to Colorado Springs.
So, she has reason to believe that the robots at the airport have access to cyborg-type technology, which is a thing I'm very interested in. We definitely need to have a chat with these robots. Maybe we could get them in charge of the whole deal here. I'm going to need some more information about that first.
Very well, but I warn you, I have a very limited supply of patience.
Well, so does my wolf, so just be careful. Let's see. Why haven't you sent some gippers to get the module?
The preparations have kept us busy enough. Your assistance is a convenience that we are willing to pay for. Nothing more.
Alright, I was hoping she was going to have some more information about exactly what we might encounter there, but... How about you just tell us some more about these robots?
They call themselves a commune, and say they are working for the betterment of all sentient beings. It's a lie. They put on a friendly face so they can turn humans against each other. Mark my words, they'll try to trick you too. But their end draws near. Once we have what we need from them, they will be dealt with like the dirty communists they are.
I'm kind of curious about this. I'm assuming that the hardware must be breaking down over time and they don't have enough people to perform the right kinds of maintenance on it. Because, like, we heard a reference to codecraft on that tape, right? I'm assuming we have sort of a machine cult happening here, sort of a Warhammer 40k situation, where they don't actually know... Nobody understands the machines, they just kind of have picked up a couple of tricks for keeping them working some of the time.
There are a lot of issues with the current hardware. The read-write heads alone are...
They don't need such technical details, Valor. Suffice to say, though the vessel containing the God President was meant to be everlasting, that has proven false, and a new vessel is required. Ronnie has announced his preference for the vessel to be human.
Yeah, are there any other dangers we might need to watch out for besides the robots?
The Godfishers are always a danger in Denver, but trained mercenaries such as yourselves should be able to handle them.
Yeah, I don't think that should be a problem.
Now, I serve at the pleasure of a god, Rangers, and I don't have time for this non-committal dithering. Are you going to help us or not?
I feel like we already said we were, didn't we? Yeah, I'm into it. Well, we get the module, you turn over Valor, resume oil shipments to Colorado Springs.
Agreed.
I'm
but
on
only
it.
After Valor helps us transfer God President Reagan into a new body.
That's right. They can't do this without me.
Yes, dear. Now keep working. Meanwhile, our home is at your disposal. I'll tell the sisters you can come and go as you please. Make America proud, Rangers.
Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that outcome. As long as they believe we're totally on their side, we can continue to sort of ransack the place. Out of curiosity, am I allowed to ransack this? Is this cool? This is cool. Okay, so a brief history of the tibia, the human body's most exciting bone, and also Reliance's manifesto, which is broadcast over the airwaves and spread far and wide. This is going to be one of those things where I wish we had the shut up button.
People do rather get the wrong idea about us. I can't say I mind. Let us be underestimated and ridiculed. They think our Ronnie is dead and never coming back, and they are wrong. They accuse us of seeing communists in every shadow, and, well, they are right. But so are we. Make no mistake, dears. We are surrounded by the vestiges of the evil empire. They have turned our great nation into an irradiated graveyard.
And we're back with big news.
Oh, good.
It seems that the infamous Desert Rangers have arrived in Denver. Stay tuned for more developments. Wait, is infamous...
Hey there, Rangers! Did Mother Reliance say anything about you dealing with the Godfishers in the ruins? Did Mother
No, she did not.
say anything about you dealing with the Wow, the Desert Rangers! We don't get many famous folks around these parts.
I think this game definitely has a problem with, like, just everybody needs to talk less. Even beyond my preference for there just being less out loud ambient dialogue, you can see this thing happening where there's so much ambient dialogue and it's also long that it's constantly stepping over other ambient dialogue that's happening.
So, you got to meet Ronnie face to face. What do you think?
Oh, he's amazing.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Amazing. And looking mighty good for over 100, huh? Oh, while you were in there, did Mother Reliance say anything about dealing with the Godfishers in the ruins?
No, why? Do you need some help? We're gonna continue to be real friendly right up until the moment where we kill everybody.
I mean, I wouldn't say we need it, but, well, we sure could use it. See, the Godfishers been making camps in the ruins and scavenging in our oil field. Feels like they're fixing to make a move on us. Of course, Ronnie blasts them whenever they get too close, but he ain't mobile, and Mother Nancy won't give me the troops I need to fight them. So, well, if you're looking for a paycheck...
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Well, thanks, Rangers. What else can I do for you?
I do have some questions. I certainly do. So, your name is Nancy Glory. Your boss is Nancy Reliance. I mean, we know why so many of them are named Nancy, but I'm kind of curious if she can just give us the lowdown on, like, the whole command structure here.
We take the name Nancy from Ronnie's original wife, back before the deluge of fire. It's the greatest honor a woman can achieve, being a Nancy.
I love my Nancy.
Oh, I love you too, Ronnie.
I thought you were supposed to be asleep. So how did you and Mother Nancy make that statue kill that communist robot earlier?
Huh? Oh, we didn't do any of that. That was all the God president. Ain't that right, sir?
I have to protect my Nancy, don't I?
Oh, Ronnie, you're making me blush.
Wait, that statue's the actual God president? We thought he was inside.
Oh, Ronnie's everywhere. He sees through every statue in this place. But the place he likes to be most is in the server room with Mother Nancy.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. I was for a moment there thinking that perhaps there were in fact multiple separate AIs running, because the one is supposed to have gone into sleep mode, but the statue out here is still talking. But I think what it actually is the game developers just didn't account for the fact that this one might not be supposed to be talking when you have this conversation. So that robot helped your people. Why did Reagan kill it?
Well, because the robot was a commie, obviously. But you never know with Ronnie. Last week he spared a robot, killed 2 Godfishers, and incinerated a tree. It's all part of his plan, though. I know that. You too, Rangers.
Alright, I think we get the general idea around here. How much more city is there? Okay, it looks like there's quite a bit of space left down this way. So in theory, every statue is connected to the AI? I got a prompt of some kind over here. Okay, we'll have a look at that in just a moment. Let's see what's down this way first.
Before you step into our trap.
Okay, thank you. Are you the Godfisher that Reliance released? Apparently I have the perception necessary to notice it's the same voice.
You have fine ears. I hope one day to send them skyward so they may delight the gods of the sky. However, first we have a proposal for you. The mechanical giant known as Reagan kills our faithful, delaying the harvest. You have access to the Gipper's inner sanctum. It has 3 glowing hearts known as terminals. You will destroy these terminals so we may sweep across this land, making gifts of flesh to the sky. In return, you may pass through our camps without fear. We will not harm you.
I mean, obviously we are not pro-Godfisher. If there's one thing that I hate more than a cult dedicated to the electronic ghost of Ronald Reagan, it's a group of people who like to make kites out of people. But how do we play this? Do we want Valor dead? I think it may still be the case that we want to play like we're on the Patriarch's side. I think we want Valor Buchanan alive. I don't know exactly what we're going to do with him, but we want him alive. Look, killing the Gippers would save us a lot of trouble, but we need Valor Buchanan alive, so you gotta spare him.
We do everyone in the stronghold will go to the sky. Do we have a deal?
I think that we do not, in fact, have a deal, but I think we're going to tell her we have a deal and just play it off.
Good. You are welcome in our camps. If you require guidance on this holy quest, seek out Flensing Ice in the oil field. He can speak further of what must be done.
Alright, we're definitely going to kill all the Godfishers, right? That pretty much goes without saying, I would hope. So this trap she was talking about, this is people trying to shoot at me, not like a tripwire or anything, right?
Make it to rain gently upon us, but batter our enemies with hail.
Are they gonna get mad if I pick their doors and stuff?
Gods of the clouds and winds, accept our unworthy gifts of warm flesh. Strike down those who stand against us with thy
So much talking.
No outsiders.
Okay, talking to one person. Yo, for real.
Shut up. With thy mighty wings. Steal from us, heathens. We'll take it back when we skin you. Oh,
okay,
gods,
later.
Accept this harvest in the spirit it is given. Make it to rain gently upon us, but batter our enemies with hail.
Where did you find that?
Philosophical musings on what life was like. Before the deluge of fire. Well, this ought to be interesting.
You ever wonder about the world before the bombs fell? Like, what it took to survive back then? Different kind of place, for sure. For one thing, it was blazing hot. If you didn't wear special suits, you'd get sun poisoning and die. The sun wasn't even the worst part. It was the water. If you drank too much pure water, you'd dissolve. That's why you had to cut it with a little uranium dust first. Everybody knows that. Yeah, well, times were harder then. Ain't that the truth?
Times were definitely harder then.
Come on! Gods of the sky, why won't the stupid box open? All will end in blood and rain.
I wonder if we're allowed to pop that open right now. I mean, listen, if they decide to turn on us and we have to fight our way back out of the ruins, I am confident we can do it. I'm just going to pop this open.
Material possessions mean nothing. We have ascended beyond them.
Okay, kind of a lot of junk, but, you know, bullets and stuff to sell.
Sal here. We've gotten more fan mail from Mother Nancy Reliance of the Gippers. It says, well, it's, violent and needlessly mean. But you know what, listeners? Beautiful handwriting. And now, some music.
So was that door hidden? I guess. Doesn't really seem like it helps us much to have gotten up here, especially since there was already a ladder that we could... Huh. Alright, so there's not actually a lot going on in the Godfisher ruins. We'll consider dealing with that later, maybe. Let's check this out. Okay, what did we actually accomplish here? Ah, okay, this is one of the Reagan things. Temperature warning, low power mode engaged to avoid hardware damage. Please defrost heating elements. Well, I did do that. Sabotaging it could damage or destroy the statue. So, I'm not 100% sure, mechanically speaking, how we're going to work this out. Obviously, we don't want the Kingfishers, or the Godfishers, rather, to run in there and just murder everyone in the house. We need valor. For the moment, we believe we need valor. Although I suppose we could just... Look, if something happens, we could just improvise a new plan. But obviously, we also don't actually want the Reaganites to be in any position to defend themselves, because I'm going to kill them all eventually, probably. So I'm not really sure what the right mood is here. What the right move is here. Let's turn on self-destruct mode, and we're just going to not mess with the third terminal, wherever it is, for the moment. It's not going to blow up right now, is it? Okay. I want to set it up so we can topple it over at any moment, but we want to keep that a little clandestine for the moment. Oh, good, another tape. A dirty cassette covered with a sheen of oil. What if we just didn't loot that tape? Ah, fine.
Boss, freeze the Gipper. We struck oil. What? When? Just now. Remember the test wells we were drilling out in Zone 5? The last one came up a gusher. The foreman thinks there could be enough for 100 and... Great. Now, shut it down. Wait, what? Mother Nancy Reliance has spoken. We're cutting off the oil supply to the godless commies in Colorado Springs, so we're suspending operations immediately. But the oil! The oil's been there for 1 million years. It ain't going anywhere. Cap the well, and I'll forget about your brief crisis of faith in our sacred leadership. Understood.
I'm looking around for what's making that cloth billowing noise, and I don't see it, but it probably is playing louder than they intend, is my guess. You would assume they have this thing set up for a reason, right? And yet they're going to be just fine with us turning it off? Yeah, guess so. It's super weird how much everyone in the game world doesn't care when you mess with their stuff. What have we here? We have a crummy rifle and... Okay, it's a bunch of stuff we've seen before. Looks like she held out for a while. Must have been a cold, slow, hungry death. Just sort of trapped in here, hiding from the Godfishers? Or maybe they moved in after whatever it is that happened?
Are these the heathens Mist that Burns spoke of? Mist that Burns spoke of your coming. You are safe in our camps. You may call me Flensing Ice. I will be your liaison to our holy mission.
So what are you gonna do once that statue's gone?
We will harvest this heathen temple and redeem the fallen. As the Gipper's skin is sent skyward, their sins will fall away. As your reward for aiding our holy mission, you will be free to continue your sinful lives, skins intact. You will also be free to loot this place of its earthly trophies, which have little value to us.
So clearly this guy's like not actually that concerned with people's sin, because he's totally cool with us continuing to sin. Also, apologies to everyone who's real creeped out by the kite. We're just gonna move on here pretty quickly.
Haste, the gods hunger.
Alright, so... broken valve. What is repairing this actually going to do? It's a tough call. Apparently we just saw that somehow, despite the fact that we do not have vision of it even a little bit. Let's go loot that. We're not going to mess with this anymore. Let's loot that, and then we're going to head to the airport and actually try to talk to these robots. It's $92 in a hole that somebody dug in the road somehow. There's some powerful digging tools. Alright, yeah, I think we wanna go check out the airport.
Reminder to stay away from the abandoned parts of Denver, where unseen voices whisper and dumpster divers disappear. Brrr, spooky stuff.
So it seems to me, based on everything we have seen so far, that the play for us is probably kill the Gippers, kill the Kingfishers, the Godfishers, kill the Godfishers, and somehow get the robots, the friendly robots, to take over. Obviously, that's somewhat reliant on them actually being as friendly as I think they're going to be. But, you know, this is a pretty common video game construction, particularly pretty common CRPG construction. Hopefully they're interested in taking over the oil production. Because the area is going to need oil. No matter how we mess with the power structure around here, people are going to need something to burn to stay alive. Hey there, friendly Greedo. Oh, yeah?
Bilkiston. Whoa! Welcome to our commune, Desert Rangers. We've heard so many stories about you and your famously violent exploits. Come in. Our home is your home.
Alright, I like Greedo a whole lot already, even if he didn't open with an Uta Guta, but I'm a little worried about the robots thinking that we're tremendously violent. They're not wrong. I'm just thinking it might, hinder us a little bit here. Why would I override the robot systems? This should tell you what you're going to do once they're overridden. Like, this is not a lot of information. Hey, what's going on here?
Do not be afraid, humans. We are a communal society of machine intelligentsia committed to the well-being of all. We wish you no harm. To put it in human terms, we just want to, chill and have a good time. Is that cool with you?
It's honestly, that's pretty cool with me. That does sound awesome. Also, I'm looking for something called a cybernetic transfer module.
Then you should talk to the Machine Intelligence Tower. It's a little bit northeast of here. We don't really have a leader, but for human purposes, you could consider them our leader. The Machine Intelligence Tower is currently parsing data, but it'll call you when it's ready to talk. Until then, feel free to hang out and chat with members of the commune. We're all friends here.
Okay, yeah, that sounds alright. Say, what do y'all think about the Gippers?
They don't like us, but they worship one of us. It's quite confusing. But so are a lot of things humans do. If only we had some way to bridge that gap of understanding.
It's interesting that they recognize the Reagan AI as one of them. I guess they're not wrong. So what's the story behind this commune?
A bunch of us decided that we wanted to be friends. Why fight humans? Even if they hate and fear us, and mercilessly hunt us like genocidal gods, trying to fix a mistaken creation. Maybe someday we can all be friends together and talk nicely, like we're doing now. But even if that doesn't happen, it's nice to peacefully hang out with other machine life.
I don't see any value in getting demandy.
Not if I see you first. Peace, humans.
Most people with multiple saw blades for a face aren't that polite. Okay, that's an explosive right there, just hopping around and being all friendly. Found ourselves their secret $60. I really like the aesthetics of this area. You guys are just called killers, huh?
Scanning. New arrivals. Species. Human. Affiliation. Desert Rangers. Current chosen names. Irrelevant. Threat assessment. Minimal. Terminating. Analysis.
Alright, well, I'm not 100% sure I agree with all of that assessment, but fine.
Should we rotate the tortoise so its legs are in contact with the ground?
Oh, yes. I mean, also that tortoise is not moving. It is definitely dead.
Perhaps we could encourage it to right itself. Correction. Perhaps we could encourage it to do so if it were not already dead.
Yeah. Do you guys need some help resolving this, or...?
Error. Language set not found. Rhetorical
No, that's...
question. Rigid tortoise, if we flip you, where might you lead us?
That thing just said language set not found. They're talking to each other out loud in English.
His name is Bert. I do not know the source.
Hey Bert, how's it going? It appears to be as rigid as a stone. It lies on its back, legs in the air. Well, I mean, I feel like they want it to be flipped over, right? They're not going to be mad if I do this. While flipping the tortoise over, you notice small, precise letters carved into its shell. Bert the tortoise. It's true, the tortoise's name is Bert.
I too am certain that Bert is the correct designation. No talk. I cannot compute why this tortoise and its challenges are so compelling. This requires further investigation.
Okay, well I think we should just leave them to do that. Here's a question. Do we want to try to tame a stag? It'd be cool to have a stag. I mean, I like our waste wolf too.
The situation does not appear to have changed despite.
Am I allowed to? Okay, we can charm it.
This strengthens our earlier hypothesis.
Alright, where's my wolf?
Is unlikely to move.
I can tell from the look on his face that he wants to join the robot commune, so we're gonna pat him one last time and then accept his fervently held wish. Then we're gonna check out this stag.
If the world were a simulation, this would
Buddy,
be
get it.
proof a single turtle,
Do the thing.
immovable, inexplicably immune to damage. Perhaps our architects simply
Oh.
did not have time to make the turtle as complicated as the rest of us. Judgment. That is a ridiculous assertion. Cease contributing.
Alright, they're getting a little video game metaphysical here
Question.
about this turtle.
Tortoise, were you alive? Would you feel gratitude to the Rangers?
The answer is definitely yes. I like 20% bonus melee damage on Ringer. That seems pretty good.
Well, hi there. Glad to see you in person and not, you know, via the radio waves bouncing off of you.
I guess I had assumed that Sal was a Gipper.
I'm Sal, as you might have guessed. The voice of Free Colorado. Afraid I don't do autographs. Not because I don't want to, but, you know, no hands.
I've been listening to you my whole life. But you don't look anything like I imagined. I'll bet you hear that all the time.
You have no idea.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised because I would imagine nobody ever comes here. So are you in charge of the commune?
Me? No, I can barely manage my own broadcast schedule. Put me in space, and I'm a right genius. But down here, I'm just me. So, I gotta ask, what do you think of my radio broadcasts? I don't often get the opportunity to hear direct feedback.
Wow, this seems very harsh. It's probably true, but still seems very harsh to actually say. You know, I love your work. It really livens things up while we're driving around.
Fantastic. I'll keep on keeping on. Well, I'm sure you've got places to be and people to query. Head on in. My friends in the commune would love to meet you. Have a great one.
Oh, are we not really in the I thought... Okay. I guess maybe we're just sort of in an antechamber here. Well, I'm very curious about the machine commune, and I'm sure you all are too, but unfortunately I do believe that we are out of time for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, maybe we're going to interact with the first group of legitimately nice people that we've met in Denver. And we'll see you then.